Okay, it is time to start the nonsense for tonight. And we are finally back to Of the Devil. Now, since it has been about a month, I want to say, since I played this last, a quick recap of the prologue chapter, where we took a case defending a guy with a prosthetic arm accused of murdering his girlfriend. And after some Ace Attorney ass shenanigans, we proved he did not do the thing. We know he was innocent because we were the killer. So, I am very interested in seeing where this goes, because, like, the way this game presented the character and how she is very much just in it for the thrills, I guess, is very interesting to me. And so we head into episode 1 proper. Play in high roller mode. Limited to 1 save slot, and you won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. Quick saving and autosaves will be disabled as well. Minimum ante for all hands will be increased. The minimum and maximum penalties for answering incorrectly during trial gameplay will be increased. But the maximum ante will be increased as well, allowing you to earn the largest possible high score for credit in this episode. Completing this in high roller mode will also unlock exclusive phone charm that can't be earned any other way. Okay. I am not playing in high roller mode blind. Once I know the case and how to go about min-maxing, I will do that on my own time. Yeah, no, thanks, but I'm good. Save and load as often as you like for the perfectionists. I'm gonna play like a real gambler. I do love that even this has this level of style and presentation associated with it. Like, they did not need to go this hard on a fucking difficulty selection. It's been long enough. Just go ahead and tutorialize me. Okay. Don't know who this character is, so giving them a very neutral voice until I see their face. Listen, I wanted to thank you for coming over. It's a thank you for coming over? Figures you'd notice. Anyone could tell something's bothering you. The first person to say anything. What happened? The police came to see me. In public? No, they wanted to be considerate of my privacy. That's a first. They wanted to talk to me about the other week. About my whereabouts. And yours. I told them I didn't know anything. They must have loved that. Funny. What would you have done? In your shoes? Probably cursed them out. Yeah, I could see that. Is there anything you want to ask me? No. Not even a favor in return? No favors lost between friends, I say. That sounds like a toast. Why not? To friends. I'll raise a glass to that. Whomst the fuck was that? Glass him! Vandalism detected. Incident logged. Recorded at 8:55 a.m. local time. Geopositional data encoded. I could have all citizens in the area. Fuck off, copper! Visuals impaired, facial recognition compromised. Pinging nearby opt-ins for corroborating evidence. Hey, Ran. Hey, he's lighting up every phone on the block. We need to go now, or... Or what? He'll use his outdoor voice? Or he'll have us pinned down to our dental records before you can say we're Morning, Officer Leo. You look different today. L30. Okay. You do something new with your uniform? Good morning to you, Morgan citizen. To answer your question, no, I have not undergone any recent retrofitting. If you'd like a more detailed record of my maintenance history, you can make a request for... I've got it. I've got it. Must be a new coat of paint. You are referring to the act of vandalism that just took place. Oh, right. Her inner monologue is the grizzled detective noir thing. I remember that being a thing. Only the most recent. Super cop over here has a new dent every time I see him. Scars honorably earned in the line of duty, scanning the street for jaywalkers and loiterers. Don't worry, ma'am. A report has been filed to the police, and the police are working to resolve the situation. Looks more human than I had anticipated under the helmet, not gonna lie. Civil disobedience at this time of day. What's the world coming to? They're just stragglers, ma'am. There was a period of unrest in the area last night. Unlicensed protesting and demonstrating without a permit. Well, I hope you threw the book at him. The disturbance was handled, but individual instances of volatility may occur during the next 48 hours as we work to apprehend outside actors. Thanks for the forecast. So, does the bleeding stop on its own? Androids don't have blood, ma'am. This is just a leaking of oxidizing fluid. My mistake. So you don't need a bandage, I take it? The leakage will dry shortly. With that conversation thoroughly exhausted, I let my mind wander as I wait for the signal to cross. I unfocus my eyes and dull my hearing, sinking beneath the hum of the city street. And fading through the lives bustling around me like so much sea foam. Oh, this is just turning into actual visual novel stuff, okay. Across the way, a large man with worn hands and an ill-fitting belt turns into a gorilla-like hulk of a machine and cuffs his hands in front of his mouth. You, 61! The machine halts its lifting with uncanny precision and turns to him. We're going on break! The robot tilts its head to the side. Can't work the piler without Schwinn up on the roof, so... I don't know, take a load off, will ya? Understood, came the over-enunciated reply. The man, already walking away, tosses a dismissive wave behind him. Yeah, understood. A moment after the man turns the corner, the robot attempts to mimic the hand wave to no one in particular. Goddamn coppers on every street corner. Okay. What are we talking about? Let's see. Derogatory word for automated dependents, particularly ones licensed or operating under authority of the state. So, robot cops. Got it. At a bus stop, or what used to be a bus stop, now a charging station. A passionate young man voices his democratic opinion, loud enough for the whole street to hear. They declare martial law when I wasn't looking. Small woman beside him, trying hard to appear even smaller, shifts in her seat. Well, they're just doing their jobs, so... Bots don't have jobs, except the ones they stole from us. Notice how they don't patrol nearly so heavy in Uptown, even on the worst days? His audience, captive by virtue of sharing the same charging pole as him, shuffles, coughs, and stares even harder at their phones. The woman looks at her knees and pulls at her shirt. You're kind of embarrassing me right now. He makes a vague gesture with his hand to indicate that he's stepped off his soapbox, and the shoulders of everyone around him relax a centimeter. Oh, now that's just... Okay, a woman, okay. Woman with exhaustion in her eyes sighs at a hologram floating above her chrome-plated palm. Okay, new term. Yeah, I kind of figured that was a body modification thing. While a rounded, smooth-looking android pushes a carriage behind her. Ellen, walk around her. Around the block. Get her some air, would ya? Apparently this call can't wait, and it's louder than a garbage disposal out here. Of course, ma'am, I'd be glad to. The android punctuates its sentence with a sound halfway between a whir and purr, which, judging by the coos and giggling coming from the child, seems to have been well received. Robots, holograms, androids, drone coppers, if you prefer. Can't so much as sneeze in this city without a dozen different ads offering you a handkerchief. Automated, but yeah, so ads are just your catch-all term for robots. Okay. There's a vocal minority that think they're the downfall of civilization, but for everyone else... You're too kind, ma'am. Thank you for your concern. It's hard to hate them when they're so eager to please. Crosswalk's giving me the okay. Keep us safe, yeah? Have a good day, Morgan citizen. It's a bright, crisp morning in the city. Lights changing and people moving in click-clacking harmony, all smooth as clockwork. Were I in a worse mood, it would all be a bit much. But I... Okay, that got me. Holy shit. But I went out last night, so I'm feeling pretty refreshed this morning. Also, I notice the music is clearer now. As I reach the other end of the street, I pivot lightly and give Automated Dependent Assistant Officer L30 my best impression of a salute. Thank you for your service. And of course, he creaks out a mirrored response. No sense of sarcasm, the poor bastards. But I didn't come all this way to downtown to poke fun at the only happily employed class in human history. No, I came down here to make an important purchase. Today, I'm going to buy a gun. Yeah, she ran out of ammo for her actual gunpowder using revolver. An idle mind. Okay. This is all looking like low-tech stuff for this setting. No staff around, but all the lights are on. Could I have knocked? What's up? Dusk personality setting 6, the cool one. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I've probably forgotten more about firearms than you're programmed to remember. I bet you can. I recently acquired a license to carry concealed. Nice. Are you in law enforcement? Do you shoot for sport? Business or pleasure? Neither. May I ask why you're looking to carry concealed, ma'am? Oh, you know. Assault with a deadly weapon, cruel intent, that kind of thing. Some of my clients live in very rough neighborhoods. Even in broad daylight, coming down to the lower wards for house visits can be... I see. You're a lawyer. So, I guess you'd say I'm in the market for self-defense. You have a wide selection of options for self-defense, and a variety of sizes and calibers with spread and PA fire options available. My bad. PA stands for pseudo-automatic. I know. But for concealed, it'd have to at least be small enough to... This would go faster if I just tell the Dusk what I want. You know what? I feel like this is part of the, getting into the head of an actual serial killer. Acting like an expert on this is going to be a little much for a lawyer. So, let's play dumb. But walking in here and asking for a very specific model is gun nut behavior. I'm not trying to stand out. Some of the ones I test fired at the range left my shoulders sore for days. You have anything more discreet? Right, no problem. Electromagnetic pulse models feature minimal kickback with the highest accuracy. One targeted pulse of electricity can disable attackers at medium to short range, non-lethally, and quietly. Sure, they're plenty quiet. They also have piss-poor range, and even sustained fire won't do shit to any modder with insulation less than a few years old. Glorified tasers. Fairly suitable as party favors for anxiety-stricken college kids. Well, hopefully not too quiet. I'd want someone to come running to my rescue. Of course. Would you like to take a look at our mag rails? Bullseye. We're proud to offer a number of models that utilize the latest and miniaturized ultra-capacity batteries to generate Lorentz force, which flings a slug fast enough to mist a limb over 30 meters. I'm guessing mist is just slang for turning something into a fine mist. To shoot or to kill. I see, yup. So, jibbing in Doom parlance. And it's safe? Of course, ma'am. My bad. Two-factor safeties with GPS and emergency services. Sync. It won't go off unless you want it to, and someone will definitely come running. All those convenient safety features make it incredibly easy for the police. Or anyone who can dupe their tool set. To lock you out of your own gun at the flip of a switch. You couldn't walk a piece like that down a single uptown street without passing through 9 or 10 no-fire zones. They're the very worst, most useless kind of weapon a criminal could buy. Sounds perfect! How do we get started? Why does it feel like every desk I run into has to be such a character? Mercifully, it's tucked itself away while the fabricators get the gun tagged. I've got time to kill, so is there anything worth checking out around this shop? Okay. Just random clutter. Guess the desk kindly asking customers not to litter can only get you so far if you're not willing to pay someone to sweep up. Wait, is that this trash? This flyer? It's scannable? Stagnancy theory. Really? They got a lot of self-proclaimed philosophers in here? Alright. A stagnant world, modern man's plateau. Hey, Nix. Renowned net philosopher Corbin Cawthorne, real name withheld, offers to take you on a deep dive into the global trends of sociological patterns that have driven our planet to the halting point in this groundbreaking and controversial seminar. Moore's Law used to be the benchmark, now it feels like a pipe dream. We used to dream of humanity marching bravely into space, of artisans crafting virtual wonders that made the confines of our own reality seem limited. Instead, our brightest minds spend all their time and effort kicking the can of climate crisis down the road, while their more fortunate peers spend their most productive working years in search engine optimization and customer experience design. Is this a cyberpunk or a modern day setting? Like, Jesus Christ. The middle class, eaten alive by the rich they prop up, can no longer afford the very products they help create. Without mass consumer demand, tech no longer has evolutionary pressures to be as small and powerful as possible. In stagnant waters, only parasites and disease grow aplenty. And the only cure comes from you taking action. This is a little too real, Jesus Christ. There's another link at the bottom, probably leading to a collection dish. Or a state honeypot if you want to be paranoid. They better burn this shit before some neat freak idiot picks it up and gets arrested. Hate these kinds of screens. Gotta look at them with your nose turned up or else they start eye tracking. Next thing you know, they're saying hello on a first name basis. I mean, that's sort of the idea. Like, this setting is like the most dystopian surveillance state cyberpunk I've ever seen. Like, the only reason the killer got away with it in the previous episode is because they knew exactly when there was a blackout spot for maintenance. and did their killing then. Otherwise, like, just in the opening of this, you know, an android cop had its helmet visor broken. It couldn't get, like, the face tracking going, so it started pinging every phone in the area to get positions and shit like that. So yeah, like, there's a reason that sounded like a terrorist manifesto's prologue, because they kind of, or that's the only kind of progress this civilization is gonna get. But I've got practice with this sort of thing. I can skim the headlines at least. Why the 12-6 work week gives us more free time than ever. The 12-6 work week. Is this... Okay. Tell me if I'm wrong in thinking this, but is that implying you work 12 days in a row, take 6 off? Oh, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Okay. Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm 14 and I tried dating a smart UI. It made me the happiest I've ever been. Oh, no! Thank you for that, Ryan. That was incredibly good timing. Jesus fuck. A smart UI. Not even an AI. A UI. A user interface. Like, imagine dating a heads-up display. Like, Jesus Christ. How term limits are anti-democracy. Go get this shit out of here. This is way too real. God damn. Woof indeed. Transfusions for more Mandroid save soldier's life. Right! I forgot the warm android thing they were talking about in the previous episode is like a synthetic body that grows like actual human tissue. So like, to put it into an anime reference, Cell from Dragon Ball is a warm android. So, you know, have fun with that mental image. That's one hell of a headline. If the Animate 16 wasn't selling well before, I'm sure by now it is. Actually awesome, but it's a dystopia, so yeah. Like, the actual medical implications of being able to, like, have androids that grow human tissue would be kind of mind-boggling. And we haven't gotten to the crime just yet. We are just buying a gun right now. Also, can I bring up the options real quick? I can't turn VSync on. I'm getting a little bit of screen tearing just by scrolling here. Yeah. Of course, there's ethical questions about how, like, the treatment of, like, the warm androids and whatnot. Because, like, using them as organ farms, probably not very ethical considering they are sentient. and everything, but now specific fish skin is making the rounds as a tool for transitioning and burn treatment. Oh, nice! I hadn't heard about that. Someone left a data pad out here. What's in the news what's in the news today? Lobo threatens Tetra with ransomware vulgarity. The internationally wanted terrorist and serial data thief, most commonly known as Lobo, has seized a cache of vital keystone data files belonging to the Tetra Metallics Group, according to a press release from the mining conglomerate. In a blitz of cross-posts on 90 different socials, translated into all 11 dominant languages. I'm sorry, 11 dominant languages? That feels like it should be more. The supposed hacktivist, radical conservationalist, and gentleman thief made clear their intent to ransom the said files back to their lawful owners at severe cost. Also, so if you go to Google and search Lobo DC, you get a very jacked, white-faced, muscle biker dude. And I am just imagining him trying to pass as a phantom thief. And that is extremely fucking funny to me. 11 dominant languages is impressive in an Anglo-based world. I mean, yeah, but I still feel like that should be more. Like, granted, I don't know how many quote-unquote or how many languages are quote-unquote dominant nowadays, or what qualifies as a dominant language. But, yeah. Though the posts were quickly flagged and quarantined thanks to user reports, Lobo's latest manifesto, which we have declined to publish here on grounds of journalistic integrity and due to the strong language contained within, has remained in circulation thanks to a loose network of rogue data harbors. Data harbors. In addition to a sizable monetary ransom, Lobo put out a list of demands that spanned pages. Most prominent among them was a call for de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. Sources at Tetra refused to confirm or deny the reports of Lobo's captured data impacted only their billing services, but insisted that the corporation could not, in good faith, resume distribution until the ransom situation was resolved. Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack, as supply halted and demand rose, stoked by memories of catastrophic supply chain disruption in the mid-21st century. A spokesperson for Mining is Progress, a lobbying group that represents the rare earth metal industry, called Lobo's repeated attacks acts of terror against the free market. Whoa there, looks like you're not logged in. Want to take care of that real quick? Unfortunately, the paywalls stop us from going down the rabbit hole here. Lobo, again, or someone using their name. Suppose it doesn't matter if they're the original or not, so long as they're a genuine threat. And no one could snare a corporation as rich as Tetra without serious skills. It doesn't seem consistent with Lobo's politics, making demands for de-escalation. It's not the first time Lobo's voiced displeasure with the decades-old simmer of conflict around the tropics. But unless the rare earth metals powering all our batteries and fueling all our pretty little androids are suddenly made a lot less rare overnight, I doubt the state will stop taking an interest in those regions' politics anytime soon. There's some kind of news program playing on the screen. Most public places are too scared to put on any channel with content more political than the smiling micro apartment flippers. But this is a gun store after all. Power is always political. Wait, how long has it been? Shouldn't take them that long to get my gun properly bugged. I'm sorry, we've reached a breaking news story, or received a breaking news story. We're seeking confirmation and yes, we have it confirmed. Lead programmer at Noble Electronics and famed designer of the Turing solution, Dr. David Asher, has passed. What? Proprietary Vantage automated dependent management system along with the animate series of androids. Must be some kind of corporate propaganda tactic or... No, they wouldn't risk. Fake news? But why? Perhaps best known for his breakthroughs in the field of machine learning and language. Misinformation, maybe. Trying to authored many of the developments that allowed for Noble's rapid growth and market dominance. David Asher is dead? Including the popular Desk series of smart UIs. That's very sad. I didn't ask. Sorry, I just... Commands only. Understood. Will you be paying with cash or credit? Debit. $20.86. That doesn't seem all that far off anymore, really. The gun was light. Lighter than I expected. A real gun should always be heavy. Greater than the sum of its parts. That's one of the things I like about them. Their weight. Like they're anchoring the world around them. Like they're a fixed point in time. Like everything else is just relative to them, either closer or further to the end. I would have liked something heavier during that walk back to my apartment. I would have liked to have something to feel far away from. God, this is very Deus Ex looking. Not even gonna lie. Like, it's even got the fucking color scheme. Didn't realize I was home until my hand was on the door. What is this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Fumbling in my pockets for my lighter. Golden, polished, tastefully ergonomic and fine and expensive. A good lighter. It was a good gift. I kept the card, didn't I? Here it is. The only smoker in my life. No, gold's a bit much for your personal style, but they don't make a lot of these anymore. Believe it or not, the only other people who share your vice are stuffy old men with bad, expensive tastes. Hope you can manage to get some use out of it anyway. Your friend, David. The news might have more information by now. Or not. Looks like the net's full of copy-pasted statements from Noble. Auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quotes. Reactions to the news from every micro-celebrity under the sun. Their raw, authentic emotion brought to you live from all the car seats and bathroom mirrors of the world. But there's nothing about his death, not even a time window. Let's see. Quick search, and while defining language is a problem in and of itself, here's the list of 11 most... Okay. Interesting. I see Mr. Famous is trying to interject here. Did he die this morning? Was he found dead in his bed? Has he been dead for days, while Noble's just been waiting for the right time to let it leak? Or did he die last night while I was out screwing around? A phone call? Better not be work-related. I'm not in the right mood.
Oh, Morgan! Hey, thanks for picking up so fast.
She's Jessica Starling, who asked me to call her.
Hi, Jess. Listen, I need to... I've already seen the news. What? Of course you have, duh. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, with the company and their people and all the... What I mean is, if it were up to me, you would have been the first call I made.
For a decision like that to be up to David's assistant, about 1,000 other noble employees above her on the ladder would have to get axed, but...
It's alright, Jess. No one ever really knows what to do with these kinds of things. Still, I'm sorry you had to hear it from a stream, Chiron.
What difference does it make how the information gets to me? I could have stumbled upon his corpse myself and I would feel mostly the same.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call anyway. Yeah.
If I want more information, she's the best source I'm going to get, maybe for weeks. What to ask at a time like this? I'm supposed to express denial first, but he's probably short on time. And I don't feel like following the playbook on the letter right now.
Can you tell me what happened?
Also, keep track of her eyes. Because her eyes right now, that's how you know she's contemplating murder right now, I think. Like, when her eyes get the super detail.
The police, they think that he took something.
Morgan's eyes.
Suicide?
And the police are already involved?
They say it was some kind of poison or... God.
Noble's got a lot of weight to bludgeon the state with, especially in this city. I would think they'd keep the police at arm's length for at least a few days.
Listen, Morgan, I need to ask something of you. Of course, Jess, whatever you need.
Whatever you need? A bit much, but she's grieving. This is just how people talk. And it's not like my day was really salvageable anyway.
I'd like to bring you up here, to David's place. What do you mean? There's something I have to give you. You're not handling this well already, are you? If the police are involved, it'll be a while before... No, I'm sorry. It's not like that. Before he...
No, please, don't hold back on my account.
David asked me to get this into your hands. It wasn't work-related. But he asked me. I know I'm asking a lot here, but... since it's turned out to be the last thing he ever asked me to do, I'd like to get it done.
I don't like showing up at crime scenes more often or more quickly than strictly necessary. That's when I only have to worry about the police. With Noble looming over all, the security will be doubled and scrutiny tripled.
Also, thank you for the head pats, Noah.
This is too risky. There's no logical reason to agree to her request.
Swing by my place with a cat, yeah?
Very nice!
Besides my own morbid curiosity.
Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. What is it? You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you?
The autocab hums a synthesized purr as our on-ramp merges onto a canopy superhighway steadily and suddenly all at once. Not much super about it, but it does cast one hell of a shadow. The canopies always felt very arts and crafts to me. Cobbled together, always added on to, never finished, never planned. But the rest of Morgan's wardrobe is all black. It's clearly taken a lot of time and effort to make. Honestly, I would say that Morgan tends to wear red a lot. Makes the bloodstains easier to hide. But the end result's still ugly. And it feels like it could fall apart at any moment.
You okay, Morgan? You look a little carsick. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
But if I ignore her texts now, she'll just send more later. Which? Okay.
Hey, Freckles. Saw your friend Asher on the news.
Rip.
Thank you. For trying to be sincere. Worth a shot. We all have our strengths. God damn, you are one passive-aggressive little girl. Why does all your filial piety go out the window whenever you talk to me? Filial piety doesn't work on you. You love yourself too much to appreciate respect. True, true. Went the train. See, Freckles, you can be very insightful. When you aren't too busy side-eyeing the whole world. Wonder where I picked that up from. Not from me. I'm pretty sure you were born muttering insults under your breath. The nurses tried to make you cry and you responded by giving them self-esteem issues.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, that is some good shit right there. Oh. Also, I'm guessing this is Morgan's mom saying all of this? Like, goddamn. No wonder Morgan is fucked up.
Did you ever have dealings with Noble? 10 out of 10 shift in the convo. Subtle as a car crash. Subtlety doesn't work on you either. Well, it might. If you were good at it. Is this me asking you for advice? Okay. I guess this never sunk in. As you spent most of your apprenticeship asleep. But my clients were all celebs. The rich and famous.
I love how, like, while she's on this monologue, Morgan is just kind of gazing out the window most of the time.
I didn't have that many dealings with the Megs that owned the Megs that owned their likenesses. They're really that different? Plenty. Celebs don't like people seeing their dirty side. So they pay smart people like me to clean up their messes. But Megs don't like people seeing them at all, period. And also, Megs are a lot more lively when it comes to, I'm guessing, fucking. I'm guessing that's that's what's being said there. Gross. Yeah, definitely fucking. Hard workers with a lot of stress to vent. Definitely fucking. Stop. Do you have any actual help to offer? Truth be told, I did have this one run-in where I'm guessing pussy deep into corporate intrigue. Why? Morgan's face there just says it all. Like, how the fuck do I even voice that? Like, realistically.
It's a Gundam!
I don't think Gundams have anything to do with this.
God damn it. Hard worker. Lot of stress event. Glad to know I can always reach out to you in my time of need. I'm gonna let that slide because I know you're in mourning. You make increasingly weird beeping noises.
Trust me, if I had a button that I could press to make a beep noise, I would absolutely abuse it.
Look. Corporate types are all a bunch of paranoid drug addicts. Puffing glue and paint or playing roulette on their phones. While fantasizing about stabbing everyone else in the meeting to death. So don't expect them to play nice just because Asher was your pal. My actual advice is get whatever you're owed, then get out of there fast as fuck, boy.
Oh, aunt. Okay, an aunt, not mom.
That's a beautiful thought, Auntie. I mean it. Corporations prefer Viking funerals. What's a Viking funeral? Dignified ceremony where the body's sent out to sea on a boat, then they set everything on fire and sink the ashes to the bottom of the ocean. Try not to linger, Freckles. You don't want to be stuck on board when they start knocking their arrows. Thanks. But what the hell was that about me sleeping on the job? I worked harder in one day than any of you Gen Alpha drunks did all week. Could've worked smarter, lol. If you want to go there. You did literally fall asleep on the job. At the Christmas party.
I love that her aunt just has that kind of blackmail material on tap.
What is that? How do you have that? Why do you have that? It's not even accurate. Work parties are still work, Freckles. I only had my eyes closed. Because all you old farts had your camera's flashes on. Morgan, something wrong? You're sweating. Just deleting some spam.
We've got a couple more minutes of crawling through the canopy's guts before we reach David's part of the city. Uptown, our better half. Gleaming opera houses, towering corporate apartments, boutique shops with more cameras than customers. Penthouses stacked upon penthouses in a frantic climb to the top of the rat pile. All ringed in by restaurants with long wait times and small serving sizes. The joke is that uptown folks go most of the year without touching street level. Not much of a punchline there, it's basically true. By now, this whole block must be swarmed with cops themselves, surrounded by media and all encircled by onlookers. I could try to enjoy these last few moments of calm. But if the storm's coming either way, I'd rather use this time to try and find my footing.
Actually, Jess, if you've got a second, I was curious about...
Okay, so... You and David.
Remind me, how many years did you and David work together? Oh, well, I started with the company about 4 years ago. They offered me a temp contract when I was graduating. I was put in HR right in the middle of a hiring burst, so I spent 2 months in the warrants. Then an aptitude test got me fast-tracked to mid-low management. Sorry, warrants? Oh, that's just what we called the company dorms back then on account of all the people. Plus it was underground. Didn't see the sun that first month. My skin got so dry. That normal in your industry? Normal for everyone I've ever worked with. Except David, of course, but I mean, he was the best. Yeah. One Tuesday morning, Dr. David Asher walked right up to my desk like I had won the lotto. Said I should come work for him, Dr. David Asher, directly. On a random Tuesday morning like it was nothing. He didn't like to do things on Mondays. That people were always too tired to get anything done anyway.
Mood.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are her eyes a different color now? I didn't recognize any eye difference. That said, like, for Jess at least, it might be like a retinal implant or something that like gives her color changing abilities to make her look, the best in any sort of situation. It's like, that's the level of cyberpunk tech we're dealing with after all.
Did say that. I should know by now, right? 3 years of arranging meetings and keeping him organized and occasionally straightening his tie. He was a good boss. Good guy. Yeah. When did you last speak with him? Person? Thursday. Thursday afternoon.
The day before yesterday.
Seemed normal. I mean, I didn't... don't really know anything, Jess. You're right. Thanks. Thursday's the last time I saw him. That was when he asked me to meet with you.
Well, let's go for the headline now.
I saw that headline, by the way. The one where your warm android saved that soldier's life. Oh yeah, pretty feel-good, don't you think? So folks at the company must have been in high spirits lately, I take it. What I thought when I first heard about it, but... I don't know. Maybe upper management's never happy? Because they're still just riding sales harder than ever, pushing the traditional consumer markets. I thought they'd start building a pitch for Congress the day the story dropped. A big patriotic campaign telling everyone why we need a contract for warm androids in the military. But I haven't heard about them moving staff around for anything like that. Maybe it's all above my pay grade.
All the corporate power and money in the world. And they're still such joyless assholes that they won't even celebrate their victories.
I'm guessing you've already been to his place? Yeah, it's a real mess over there. It's that bloody? Oh god, no, not that kind of mess. I just mean with the cops stacked on the media, stacked on the lawyers. Each of them with their own network of drones and all their droning. Very, very high productivity atmosphere is what I mean. when were you able to get over there? I got a call from legal last night. They weren't exactly delicate in breaking the news to me.
Last night?
They said they needed me to help sorting through all of his... Well, you know how he left things organized sometimes.
It's been dead since last night and they've kept it under wraps that long? I know there are a lot of powerful people in his circles, but to stop it from leaking for over 12 hours? That seems like more than just your typical powerful people trying to control the narrative. Seems more like there's something they're actively trying to suppress.
So you found out last night? Right, last night. Oh God. I'm so sorry. I should have told you as soon as I found out. Really, it's alright.
Did you see anything?
No, I still haven't seen him at all. He was airlifted to the hospital ASAP, and that's where he passed, so... But, well, I didn't get the impression that the cops had been there that long. Not compared to the lawyers. They and the rest of the company people seemed pretty entrenched.
Noble set up camp before the police even arrived.
So what time would that have been? Guess I got there around 9 p.m.? Yeah, because at 9:15 they switched my phone to silo mode, and I got locked out of everything but my work stuff. Sent my last blah at 9:13, see? You're gonna expire whoever put me in heels this morning. It me.
Blah. That's a social network, I'm guessing.
They can do that to your phone? Lock you out of social media? Of course not. Well, unless I'm on the clock, or off the clock, but on company property. Then they can remote all my tech, yeah. How convenient. So, if I got in at 9 p.m., I'd guess the rest of the company people had been there since 8:30 p.m.? I hadn't been there for more than a few minutes before the mood changed. Word about the hospital declaring him dead had started to leak. I see.
He died after he reached the hospital. That's unexpected. It's 2086. You might be in trouble if you get stuck in bureaucratic purgatory when you need to be in the emergency room, but other than that, if you reach the hospital alive, a good doctor can stabilize most any patient within a few moments. And Noble Electronics' lead programmer would have a very good doctor. So what the hell happened? Is she mistaken? Was he not officially declared dead until reaching the hospital for some reason, or...
Hard to think about it, I know. Yeah.
Or hard to believe.
Yes, I have to wonder. What kind of request did David make of you that it couldn't wait a few days? Right, of course.
Sometimes the body just fucking dies? I mean, yeah. But I don't think that's the case here.
He asked me to give you something. Something?
Is she trying to build suspense?
Right, it's just, well, I don't know exactly what it is. You have no idea? He asked me to give you the contents of his safe. Are we headed to the bank then? No, see, he has this private safe in his basement. Maybe you've seen it? Well, I say safe, but it might be more accurate to call it a storage locker or a false wall. And all he told you was he wanted me to have what's inside? Right. He was very clear about that part. Your eyes only, straight into your hands. Handle it in person, he said. Strange.
It's all pretty analog for someone as technically gifted as David. Coming from anyone else, I'd call it paranoid. But David was never paranoid. Even when he had every right to be. If he wanted this handled a certain way, it must be for a good reason.
So, David asked you to do this on Thursday, correct? Yeah, Thursday. And he passed last night, Friday. Yeah. Wait, you don't think that when we met, he already decided? It's not healthy to speculate on that sort of thing.
More importantly, it's not helpful. The dead don't have anything to offer the living. I should know.
You're probably right. Besides, we'll need to focus. Judging by the size of the crowd I'm looking at, it looks like we're about to jump into the thick of it.
Reminds me of the joke, real tech people don't have tech at home, just outside of a printer, and a shotgun next to the printer in case the printer makes a funny noise. Gulp.
I thought there were a lot of police here before. Maybe too late to ask, but you're not bad with crowds, are you, Morgan?
He's kidding, right? It's downright airy in here compared to what we just waded through. Wide eyes and clenched fists, heads peeking over shoulders and around signs. Police, both mechanical and warm-blooded, closing ranks with holograms and quick-set wires to draw up severe perimeter. While protesters, mourners, fanatics, busybodies shuffle about the edges of the police line, the heat of their panicked anxiety washing over.
Who the hell were all those people? Well, there've always been people with strong feelings about our products.
Android stepped forward into the mob, gently, firmly, unfeelingly parting the human tide. Most of them with official police branding, but a few remotely deputized consumer models emerged from the crowd to join them. All of them built by Noble. All of them built from David's code. All of them standing vigil outside his tomb.
This is all technically company property, isn't it? Yep, David had the penthouse all to himself, but every other floor's tenants are Noble employees too.
Not an uncommon arrangement in Uptown. Work at Noble, rent from Noble. Wave hello to your Noble neighbor in the morning and make sure to request a spot in line at the official company crematorium. They don't actually do that last part, I think.
Does Noble handle employee funerary arrangements? Yeah, it's pretty standard benefit actually. It's cheap for them compared to dental. But Noble's always been generous with benefits. Work hard and the company will have you set for life.
And after. Both the state and Noble have gotten themselves entrenched here in the lobby. Security and damage control and PR and liability. Everybody is just glad to be working.
Feeling a little overstimulated. Any chance we can just skip all these checkpoints? No, absolutely not. So who do we need permission from, the cops or the company? My request went through, so we should have the go-ahead from both at this point. We won't need to go near the actual, It's still called a crime scene if it's not technically a crime?
I don't want to think about how many suits Noble's paying to debate that question right at this very instant. David's vault is the penthouse's basement, but we can't get into it from these ground floor elevators. We'll have to ride straight up to the rooftop veranda, walk in his front door, and then head down. If Jess says we can do all that without stumbling across where he died, then...
Okay. So if we just flash my ID card at any problem that comes up, including him...
Ladies, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're at capacity at the moment. Hey, how does a penthouse have a basement? Very carefully. Like, imagine at the top of this building there is just a full-ass house on top of it. That's what I'm guessing. Let anyone else buy and we won't be able to maintain... Huh? You're that lawyer, Morgan.
You caught me, detective. How long's it been?
Feels like it's been ages.
Oh dear. Not so bitter about our last encounter, I hope?
I'll live.
I don't see the spunky one around. He taking a mental health day to preserve that unflappable charm?
Detective Reyes is around. Why, you miss her that much? I've had blind pimples that were more endearing.
You two know each other? Jess Starling, meet Homicide Detective Kasim London.
It's a pleasure, miss.
Oh, well, likewise? As you might have guessed, the detective and I are acquainted. Comes with the line of work.
Morgan's being modest, sweetheart. We're practically blood.
Oh, wow. Me? Sweetheart. Something wrong, Starling? No, nothing wrong.
But close as we are, I still can't just let her walk in off the street and onto the scene of an ongoing investigation. Even Noble's lawyers have to play by the rules today. Play by the rules. So there is a game afoot.
What makes you assume I'm here in a professional capacity?
You're a criminal defense attorney. We're at a crime scene. Call it an old man's intuition.
Good detectives don't rely on intuition, though, do they? They rely on evidence.
Oh, I don't rely on it, don't worry. I just need to lean on it every now and then when my back stacks up.
Oh, cool.
Jess? Honey, I need you to keep it in your pants. Guy gets a bit of gray in his hair and thinks it's a free pass to act like a goddamn cowboy. Unkempt 23-year-old. How old is he? I forget. It doesn't actually say his name or his age, but I want to say like he's supposed to be like late 30s. So about my age, effectively.
Well, I'm afraid your intuition is off this morning, Detective. I'm here on a private matter.
Deceased wasn't your client?
No, that would have been a conflict of interest.
Conflict of... Oh, you two knew each other. I see. In that case, allow me to give you my condolences.
Thank you. But what I could really use is a bit of your help.
You sure rally fast.
Jess? Right. We have this clearance here, Detective. Sir, from legal, which allows us...
Ah, that's all right, little lady. I trust you. You can leave the paperwork holstered for now.
Little lady? We aren't here for David, really. We won't be setting foot anywhere near your staging area, Detective.
All right, why not?
How generous.
I can afford to be generous today, because if I screw up, he gestures to the lobby full of suits and cops. Plenty of folks are at hand ready to pick up the slack.
Well, if you're that at ease, perhaps I can take this time to ask you a few questions?
Hey, you can always ask, Tiger. But I think you understand what I mean when I say whether or not I can answer is not entirely up to me. Okay, looking tired.
You're looking a bit haggard. How long have you been here anyway?
Since this morning. But civilized folks don't call it morning when the streetlights are still on. Even if he got here around 1 or 2 in the morning. That still means homicide wasn't brought in until hours after Noble had the lay of the land.
Sounds like you could use a break.
I could use a retirement package. Hey, you're a lawyer, right?
According to all my business cards.
Think I can sue for elder abuse?
Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. You would lose, though.
I already regret asking.
They've got a homicide detective losing sleep over this anyway.
Man is dead, and he wasn't killed by fire, a vehicle, organized criminals, or disinformation. As far as we know. So at the moment, homicide's technically not the worst fit. But we're leading in name only. High-profile death like this, everyone's got an eye on us. And a hand placed firmly on the back of our neck.
I've been checking my phone, but the only thing the news seems to agree on is that David passed away.
Sorry, but if you're asking for details.
No, thank you. For not letting them make this into a parade.
Yet. We do our best to respect the privacy of anyone involved in an ongoing investigation. He declined to say victim.
Effective. Dr. Azure was a close friend of mine for many years. Yeah, trusted Morgan more than anyone. And you tell me if he killed himself.
It looks like that's the case.
I see. Thank you for telling me that. Dr. Ash.
Yeah, you're, well, sorry. Another round of guarded words. David was an important man, and it has only been a few hours. But all this tiptoeing gives me the feeling that whatever happened to David, it wasn't cut and dry.
You boys and Noble all set or getting along with each other? Sharing your toys?
Some of the younger ones are bristling. I always play well with others, counselor. And how well we do, and how well, that's also Morgan. Start that one all over again.
And how well do the Megs play with you? They give you full access to building security?
They've given us access. They say it's full. Some big penumbra system, top of the line, coverage, top to bottom of the building. The size of the data stream's torrential. It'll be a while before we can start making sense of it all.
A more conspiratorial man might think that was intentional.
Various in data and hope we're too swamped to find whatever they're trying to hide? Maybe.
Wait, they gave you full access to the penumbra? But that means every android in the building is feeding you their full spectrum.
Know your stuff. Penumbra pulls data from any androids connected to a building's net, but that's not much help since
there weren't any androids in the penthouse. Right.
You know, I'd heard the rumors. Never put much stock in them, but true. Asher never really owned a single android?
Never.
Well, I suppose I might do the same if I was the genius who programmed them all. Every time they opened their mouths, it'd just be his own lip service refracted 1,000 times over, echoing back at him from behind the mask he carved.
So, that means you'll have to investigate with the penthouse's security cameras.
Yeah, but that should be more than enough to wrap up a case like this. Not gonna lie, it would be fun to hop on one of these streets to lighten the voice acting load. I mean, yeah, but I'm managing. I'm just also going through a lot of water. In a good way, I mean. We're very much on top of this, ladies.
David was one of the biggest names in tech. He was the face of Noble Electronics.
Uh-huh.
One could argue androids are only as common as they are today because of his contributions to the field.
Some people felt that way, sure.
And do you think anyone would want to hurt him because of that?
Remind me, which one of us is the detective again?
You really won't let me pick your brain?
You already know the answer. Yes, ads are controversial, androids especially.
We at Noble are aware that our products are sometimes the subject of heated debate, but
no need to quote the handbook at us, miss. Truth be told, I've never really understood the hate.
It's not that complicated, is it? How many people have lost a job to an ad at least once in their career?
Every last one of them lost their jobs because their bosses, their flesh and blood bosses, fired them. Ads are just a symptom. Scratch that. Ads are just a product. Getting mad at them is pointless. And vandalizing them is less than pointless. Because unlike us, they're all insured.
And besides, Android production has surged over the last decade to become one of the nation's biggest exports.
True. Nice to have at least one thing we make in this country.
That's right. Noble only outsources the production of a small handful of internal components. Every other part of the manufacturing process is proudly done right here at home.
I somehow doubt everyone considers the specifics of Noble's supply chain to be a point of national pride. But you don't need a political science degree to see how much the state values Noble's contributions to the national economy. Alright, now listen, I don't mind being helpful, and I am trying to be sensitive here, but we really do have a lot on our hands at the moment. So I'm going to have to ask you to be discreet and ideally fast.
Well, our business is just in the basement of David's basement. Just in the basement, at David's basement.
But the penthouse is on the top floor, the roof, so its basement would be...
Second to last floor, if you want to be technical, detective. The point is, we don't need to go into the kitchen or the parlor. We'll go straight back to his workshop and then head downstairs.
The kitchen and the parlor. I understand. But all the same, I'd like to escort you two ladies there myself.
Wow, an escort like royalty. Isn't he a gentleman? Huh? Yeah, he's... Lead the way, detective.
True to his word, London ushered us past the chattering suits and humming drones through the checkpoints and into the elevator. As it climbed into the sky, we got a good look at the growing throng of people gathered outside and its shifting makeup. Seems like it's mostly protesters now, or worse, brand loyalists. Or worse, brand loyalists. Idiots led around by the nose their whole life, following the musk of whatever trend is laid out before them each morning. Today's trail led them here, for half reasons they couldn't put into words even if their lives depended on it. They're like insects. These inserts are very off-putting, and I love them. They look like them from up here. They're probably already preparing their spin. The misunderstood genius of David Asher, a video essay in 5 parts. Brand loyalists are brain rot kids. Got it. Yup. Why the company insisted on cultivating such a following for him, I've never understood. They could have easily pinned his achievements on someone more marketable. Some random photogenic employee or a fashion model with glasses. David wouldn't have minded. He never wanted the attention, the chaos. Maybe it's as simple as bad luck. He just happened to have the right look for the part. A man buried in his work, with his eyes fixed ahead. This is, what, his laboratory?
His shop, he called it.
How down to earth. It's messy in here. David was always disorganized. Why a programmer needed to make such a mess just to run tests on computers, I'll never... But sloppy as he could be, he didn't like it when other people saw it. If he was leaving things like this, he must not have entertained any guests down here in some time.
Thanks for all your help, Detective London.
Don't mention it. What, you want me to step out?
We won't take long.
Not lacking for boldness, are you? Look, I have to take a phone call.
We'll be in and out as soon as possible, promise. And whatever Dr. Ash wanted set aside for his foundation, we'll be sure to flag it.
Right. At least she's already wearing gloves.
If we find a dead body, you'll be our first call. Morgan, what was that stuff about his foundation? Dr. Ash's charity has always been managed by an outside group. You haven't spent a lot of time around crime scenes, have you? Actually, this is my first. Well, generally speaking, it's not really common to retrieve things from the premises while the cops are still searching them. Oh. Look, if David had something to give me, we can go get it. We just can't make a ton of noise about it, understand? Of course. Great. After you. Right. Quiet as a church house.
Phrase as quiet as a church mouse, but...
Caught myself. I'm okay. I'm okay.
But now doesn't seem like the time to correct her. David's shop was a mess, but the mess felt familiar. It was very David. Coming down here, I barely recognized the place. For starters, there's a goddamn gym. David hated exercise, always claimed he didn't have the time for it. Even when I got him to that treadmill and the subscription for the personal coaching program with the scheduling subroutine, said he couldn't find the time. And then, even when I explained to him that the program accounted for that and adapted to his schedule, he still...
Morgan, what's up?
Also, I'm gonna say it now. David and Morgan were fucking. Absolutely. This is not just close friend territory. You get somebody a treadmill and bug them to use it like that, that's old married couple shit.
You're smiling. What's so funny? Nothing. Just surprised to see the place renovated.
Morgan never fucks dude. She was fucking David. Yup. David and the prosecutor lady. Those are the two she's got eyes for, I'm betting.
Yeah, he actually had me on mail tag with a couple contractors for a while back. Never thought I'd have to learn so much about concrete and wiring and marble. Did you know marble needs to be treated or else indoor air will start to corrode it? I didn't know that. Is that true? Wait, is it not? But her guide told me without an epoxy finish, the entire bar table could. Is that the fault over there, then? Yeah. Stands out, I guess.
Also, there's a fucking car up here. Why is there a fucking car in the basement of a penthouse on a skyscraper? Why?
Nervous? What's that? Oh, a little, I guess. But the inhaler helps mostly, so... Aren't you going to open it? Open it!
Why not? I mean, what are you gonna do with it? Just sitting there and spin the wheels? The alcohols and mixes could sustain the marble table. It's just rock. That's why the epoxy... Yeah. It's staying the marble table, yeah. Also, Cody Rich people. I mean, yes. However...
Don't you know the combination? No, I do not know the combination to David's basement vault. Oh. Oh! Oh no, how could I have... Didn't tell you, or give you a code, or... Gave me the code to get into the building. And the parking garage. But not the code to whatever this is.
Okay.
You know, there were a lot of scattered papers back in his shop. Could he have left you a note on one of them? Yes, he could have. He would have. In fact, I think he probably did. You just stay right there, Morgan. I'll have this settled in just a sec. Sounds good. Right then.
Well, it's definitely locked. Look like it's a Tethys Basics Sturticure Anti-Hack Anti-Digital High-Rated Code Panel. Okay. Terms. There we go. Oh, it's... Tethys is Amazon. Got it. Okay. Wait, an Amazon Basics Anti-Hack Anti-Digital High-Rated Code Panel. Nothing basic about it, but at least I can see the password's limited to 6 characters. Only 1 million possible combinations. So you can hack that with a metal coin. Maybe I'll get lucky, or screw that. Forget it. There's a different terminal over there. Powder security systems, according to the label. Maybe it controls the whole room. Damn, it's password protected too. And the code's 64 digits long. What's the point of a camera system that's harder to crack than your literal vault, you egg-headed? Okay, yeah. Programmer probably would care more about his IoT than whatever he can fit in a safety deposit box. Internet of Things, okay. Guess it's the 6-digit vault or nothing. But I'm a lawyer, not a lockpick. And whatever other felonies I get up to in my private time, I've never pulled off a bank heist before. Only tool I've got here is my head. So what do I know? I know whatever David put in this safe, he wanted it kept secure. Also, I know that he wanted me to have it. So maybe he thought ahead. Maybe he guarded it in such a way that I would be the only one who could get to it. David liked games. He really liked beating me. So if he's left one last puzzle for me, I don't mind going another round. Okay. Taking a closer look, it's a pretty serious looking set of resistance training equipment. Password is more than betting right now. And these weights, they're all set near the max. If Noble hadn't appointed him a nutritionist along with his stylist, David would be downright scrawny. There's no way he was putting up these numbers. In which case, the digits on the weights could be a clue. There's too many. I can't guess the order. So what the hell, Asher? Did you just set all the weights to max because it looked more neat? David's wine collection, still towering over the room. Don't know why he'd buy so many bottles. He didn't even particularly like the stuff. Maybe just to fill all these shelves. But not all the bottles are untouched. Some of them don't have dust on them at all. There's a mechanism for retrieving bottles off the rack. The latest bottle chosen was a Murdicom 81. Could be significant. Except vintages only list the year they were bottled, not the month or day. It's not enough digits for the code. This must be his spare liquor cabinet. Damn, there's a lot of good stuff here, and a lot of bottom shelf swill. The kind of bargain bin vodka and nose burner whiskey that only an undergrad programmer could love. Nostalgia's sweet like that, overpowering. 1 part per million can cover up even the cheapest aftertaste. A lot of the stuff in here seems to be banal. This is what you buy when you're rich. Consumerism. Yup. It's a very big painting. I can smell the oil paint. Like, and it's impressionist? No, cubicle. Cubist, which is still incorrect. I love that they have that. Just a heretofore unseen narrator voice just pipes in. Oh, you're still wrong. Yeah, cubicle. That sounds right. It's not. Whatever it is, I do remember that David liked this painting. If there was a date on it, that could be a 6-digit password, but I don't see one anywhere. Maybe signing your work was considered gauche amongst the cubicle-ists. see anything else to interact with. I'm shocked I can't look at the car. Oh no, this isn't the vault. This is the basement. This over here with the panel under the painting, that's the vault door. This flooring's a new addition. It looks rough like sandpaper, but it's bouncy, rubberized. Feels like something you could drag your feet on at the gym or a factory floor. It's more high performance than high class. Expensive, but not in the way you'd expect for a penthouse. Well, scratch that, it's actually cracked here. Rubber doesn't break, it bends. That's its thing. So someone must have cheaped out during the installation, left a defect in. That, or David left a jackhammer on overnight. Alright, I've searched the whole room now. Time to make or break. No dice. Feel like there was at least one hint I came across. Okay. Okay, so 1981. Sure. Oh god, they're just gonna stick me here? I can't back out? Oh, fuck. Six characters. 81 was the vintage of the wine. Ah, fuck me. Give me a second. Okay. don't feel like this has any. I mean, 11/25/58. Hang on, give me a second. I need to grab something to write stuff down on. Okay. Also, not what I was expecting for David to look like. Not complaining, just, yeah. Wait, hang on. They've got a ring on. Of course, Morgan doesn't have the glove, or has her gloves on. Likes handsome men, pretty women, and expensive liquor. Goddamn. Okay. (11/25/58), the date the painting was signed. A password that is and isn't left in plain sight. Nice one.
Hey, Morgan, what? How did you get it to open? What is that?
I turned back around just in time to see a door finish swinging open with mechanical grace, revealing a girl with a barcode emblazoned across her temple, required by law to be plainly visible. It's an android, clearly marked as such. And yet, even standing this close, I could swear it's snoring? That was just, okay.
Snoring?
I stepped forward and placed the back of my wrist on the android's brow.
Arm? It must be a prototype for the Animate 16? Or maybe a prototype for the 17? Or 18? Biomechanical android with real human flesh. Sorry, biomechanical, yes, but it's organic flesh, not human. They're grown from lax Gemini cultures, but Sorry, I misspoke. Right, understandable since... You seem surprised, Jess. Hasn't Noble been working on warm androids like this one for a few years now? Warm androids like this one? I mean, yes, we have. Sorry, it's just that this particular model is very, it's very cutting edge.
Bleeding edge, judging by the flush in those cheeks.
I think it's safe to say that we found what we were looking for. Think so too. That presents a problem then. Oh, do you not, approve? I've got nothing against androids. My concern is a bit more immediate and, well, practical. Practical? I don't know how to turn it on. You switch or something? Do you? Can we, turn it around, or...
I poke the android's ribs. A little less give than I expected given its frame, but the rigidity is remarkably lifelike. How the fuck are you getting a third person out of here? Good question! I place my hand on the shoulder and give it a shake, but it doesn't budge.
Thing has to weigh more than... Right. Androids mostly transport themselves, so people are always surprised to find out they're a bit heavier than they look.
A bit? I'm surprised the whole room isn't slanted.
There's no way in hell we're moving this thing without waking it up. Crap. First the vault, now this.
I was able to guess the combination just by poking around. Compared to that, finding this hunk of junk's power to switch should be child's play. And I think I know where to start.
Jess, I'm gonna step back into the lab for a moment, alright? Huh? Oh, sure, there's gotta be a manual around here. Good idea. Might be some kind of prototype, but it's still got a barcode. Maybe you can scan its skin number and find something in the company files? Yeah, of course! All generic ID numbers should be paired with industry-standard files on maintenance, tracking, or power requirements.
I somehow doubt that the enigmatic android taking a cat nap in a sarcophagus in David Asher's basement will have a user manual. But it can't hurt for her to try, and...
I'm okay. Broke a heel, but I'm okay. I carry glue.
I'd rather search the lab by myself. Many cops in suits? Yeah. But that's a question for future Morgan to handle. Now then, if I were David and I wanted to make sure that only one person would be able to walk out of here with that android, how would I set that up? Haven't seen one since college, but this must be a 3D printer. Of some sort. Feels expensive enough to make other printers look like soda fountains by comparison. Better not mess with any of the settings. Diagrams of human anatomy. The hands are highlighted. The most developed part of the human body. Good for making stone axes and sending emails. Robots and frames can do just fine with claws and 3-digit imitations. But androids are expected to look like people and move like them too. Getting the hands right must be a big priority at Noble. That tree-like shape on the right is a neuron. Those branches receive input of varying weight, and then if the sum is greater than a certain threshold, the neuron fires. A 0 becomes a 1, and all the other zeros around it take that into consideration. Repeat that a couple billion times a second, and you've got the human brain, computer powerful enough to simulate all of reality. That's the analogy I read in a magazine, anyway. Looks like a fairly normal computer. If I'm lucky, the security will be fairly normal as well.
Boot up complete. Username?
Vocal commands.
David Asher? Morgan? Guest? Thank you for logging in as a guest.
It didn't recognize my voice, so I can probably rule out a vocal command being the key to waking the android.
Do you have a question?
More than one. For now, though, what should I search for on his computer? You know what? Morbid curiosity and everything.
Search files for Morgan. 23 results on local drive.
I can work with that. Mostly phone book and social data. But I don't recognize this file type. Some kind of personal format or personnel format? Date of birth, education, occupation, blood type, height, and weight? Alright, buddy, a little invasive, don't you think? DNA and fingerprints. Now, why do you have that, David? My DNA isn't in any database. I've made sure of that. So he couldn't have bought this anywhere. He must have collected it himself from a wine glass or the like. It would have been easy to do. I'm calling it now. The android is technically David and Morgan's child. Like, the genetic data had to come from somewhere, even if it is, like, lab grown. But why do it? These appear to be holding tanks for something. How should I know? No labels on anything, typical for a genius. But a nightmare for anyone trying to pick up after him. A lot more hard science than I expected in here. Centrifuges and glass and microscopes. Don't programmers do all their work with a keyboard? Alright, I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture of what it'll take to turn on this android. I've got the what for the where and how. I'll just have to manage. It's still just a piece of machinery. If it really won't turn on, I can always start hitting it.
Morgan, there you are. I've looked in every registry I could find and every database I could get into, but I don't think this android is in the system. It was a long shot. Don't beat yourself up over it. Yes, but an android without the proper identification is only buying or selling an android without proper identification that's illegal. And it doesn't seem like he ordered this online. I guess you're right, huh? We'll have it registered soon enough anyway. I think I figured out what we need to do here. Oh? If David really wanted me to have this, he would have left some way for me to turn it on. What are you thinking?
David had my fingerprints and my DNA on file. By requiring both, he could be reasonably sure that no one was powering up this android without my approval.
You've done a swap before, haven't you? Every month for the company. Apparently they're building a database on employee epigenetics cross-referenced with... Oh, so you're gonna...
My DNA and... For some reason, I thought that was green text.
My DNA and my fingerprint make the key. Now, where to find the lock?
I mean... Three of these would be very funny. But I'm guessing the hand. There was that diagram back in his shop.
Was it meant to be a literal handshake verification? Huh, I thought that would work.
Me too. Well, let's start going for the funny options. Maybe somewhere with a lot of surface area, the torso, the chest. I am not doing that. So, I'm guessing the idea is, like, she's Sleeping Beauty, right? You know. But I'm going to pick the other funny option first.
Nose? I guess it's not impossible. Morgan? Are you really going to stick your thumb up its nose? No, I'm not.
If it takes something that silly to boot it up, I don't even want it anymore.
Well, the lips are one of the most sensitive parts of the body.
Not the worst place to make a scan, even if it is gross placing my finger there.
Oh, that's still not doing it, huh?
Come on, do I really need to push my finger deeper? Jiggle the key?
Man, you went right in there. Are you touching the tongue? It's blinking at me. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Long beat.
Good morning to you too. You
He does have a finger in her mouth, right?
Hello? I've never seen you two before. I guess we should introduce ourselves then. Hi. This is Jessica Starling. She works for Dr. Asher. I'm Morgan, a friend of his. Got all that? I understand. She is Jessica Starling and you are Morgan. Last name unknown? No, Morgan is my last. Father told me about you. Aw, he did? Wait. Father?
David. You had it call you daddy.
I am referring to Dr. David Asher. Are you confused? That's not the word I'd use.
I'll throw a bone beyond the grave for the good doctor and just move this along.
Did David say that he was giving you to me, transferring ownership? Ownership? That is correct. And what else did... Mostly correct. Right. And what else did he tell you? Many things.
She is very cute, though. I gotta say.
Can you specify? I thought conversation was the first thing David had figured out how to program. Did Dr. Asher tell you anything or that he wanted you to convey to Morgan? A message you were supposed to pass on? Yes. Yes, I think it's trying to. Oh, okay, sure. Sure, I'll give you two. Or, well, I'll give you some privacy, Morgan. I've actually gotten about 14 messages in the last 2 minutes, so... I'll just head back upstairs, or back up to the lab and take some calls, okay? Thanks, Jess. Yes, thank you, Jess. You're welcome. Just the two of us now. So, what do I call you? My name is Sarah. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. Trust me, the pleasure's all mine. So, what's the message? Father told me that I would be living with you from now on. And he told me that you would look after me. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Should it?
I model this life like with warmth and breath and something close to blood in its veins.
Just, what are you anyway? You forgot my name already? It's Sarah. What were you built for? You're warm, obviously. You're not one of those physical therapy models, are you? That would be highly illegal. I haven't completed 500 hours of study at a state-approved massage therapy school. I haven't even completed 1 hour. What purpose did Dr. Asher design you for? I don't know the answer to that question.
So, I'm guessing Asher died because he was making a completely sapient, non-purpose robot. And, Nobody likes, just robots without a purpose. Especially not in hypercommunist or capitalism. Blech, words. Hypercapitalism.
You don't know why he built you.
No?
Should I? How can you not? You?
Sarah, that Morgan would be taking care of her, so I feel his death was planned. I mean, he probably knew he was going to get offed. So, like, somebody knows about Sarah and wants that shit on lock.
Would I be asking you if I did? I meant, do you know why you were created? Why were you born? Why me? Why would you? Why are you doing this? You're a freak! A monster! What the hell's wrong with you? Please don't kill me! Please, why? Why? Why was a monster like you even born? Yes, I walked into that one. Starting to wonder if you even had the Turing solution.
Dash's postgraduate thesis on intelligent programmatic linguistic weighting a body of work which would come to be known as the Turing solution, named for supposedly being the answer to all past, present, and future Turing tests. True to its name, David Asher's base code has yet to fail any Turing test, a test designed to determine if given answers come from a human or a machine, applied to it with a success rate of below 99.97%. A number of think tanks, charities, and corporations hold bounties for designing new Turing tests for the sole purpose of running them against David Asher's work, though none have announced the awarding of any prize money thus far.
Father's framework for programming linguistics and artificial systems, and the body of work for which he first gained international recognition. Yeah, and international. Jill, do you have an answer to my question? An answer as to why you were created? Why you exist? Occam's razor. I'm here because my parents wanted me. I see. Then I will give a similar answer. I was created because Father wanted to make me. Can't argue with that logic, can I? Can't argue with that logic. Father did say that you're a lawyer. Yeah, that's me. You're a lawyer, and I defeated you with logic. World-class, high-power attorney, the best defense money can buy. Oh, do you catch criminals? That's what cops do. Do you litigate criminals? That's what prosecutors do. Then do you fight for the underrepresented? Expose injustice? Sue corrupt corporations and officials? I don't think anyone does that anymore. Then what do you do? I'm a criminal defense attorney. A defender of the innocent and powerless.
The fucking sparkles. The fucking sparkles. She's giving real Anya vibes. Like Spy X Family Anya. Just a bit more intelligent. Not to call Anya stupid, just she's baby.
Uh-huh.
Dismissing the grin, right?
Do you also, now that you know all about me, what can you tell me about yourself? I've never had to do that before. First time for everything? How old are you? I'm not sure I can give a satisfactory answer. Oh for 2 on answering simple questions.
Anya's 4. I mean, Anya's also probably older. Let's be real.
What's the date on your earliest memory? 2 years ago.
So yeah, she's 2.
And where were you constructed or assembled or whatever? What facility? I was not constructed at any facility. Father created me here. By himself.
You're saying if I took you apart, I wouldn't be able to find any markers from any manufacturers, any IDs of any designer.
You want to take me apart?
David was a programmer, not an engineer. How could he build a custom android from scratch in the comfort of his own home? He couldn't have. He must have had help. Probably a whole department's worth. If I ask around, there's got to be someone in the company who can ID this thing and help me figure out what's so important about it.
You don't look like any android I've ever seen. What are you made of?
I also love that she's got like a glow to her. To use a joke from DBZ Abridged, and I want to clarify this is a joke, you can't kidnap an orphan, they weren't wanted anyway.
Body is comprised of organic tissues integrated directly into cybernetic systems. They require organic nourishment, including water, carbohydrates, and salt.
Wait, warm androids have to eat and drink? They cannot be worth that much trouble.
My cybernetic systems operate largely as analogs to their equivalents in the human body. I have a respiratory system for oxygen exchange and a centrally located pump that circulates oxygen.
You mean you've got a heart?
How quaint. But where does all the extra weight come from? Pardon? I tried moving you earlier and it felt like I was pulling against a truck. My skeleton is a combination of medical-grade plastics and a military-grade titanium carbide alloy.
I see. She's a fleshy T-1000. Amazing. That sure took the wind out of her sails.
My muscles are made from adaptive rare earth alloy nanoweave fiber with shock absorption and kinetic chain potential rated past... Wait, did you say military grade? I have a grip strength of above 1,000 kilograms. I can run at sustained speeds over 60 kilometers per hour. I can jump 6 meters vertically. I can lift approximately...
I'm not sure what kind of grip strength most androids are walking around with, but I've never seen any of them move the way it's talking about. Even just standing there, it seems to be poised. And yeah, the weights were for Sarah. I'm also betting Sarah broke the floor. Controlled, spring tight, strength and flexibility, like a ballerina or a gymnast. Strong enough to flip over a tank, lifelike enough to avoid detection. As long as it never stepped on a scale, it'd make for a perfect infiltration unit. The perfect weapon, if you could keep its development a secret. Did David really put something that heavy on my plate? Dismantling a military prototype in secret?
Are you deep in thought?
But a military infiltration android would look more crew-cut and forgettable. And would David really devote personal time and effort just to make another weapon for the military?
I have other features I could tell you about if you like. If I shot you, would you die? It would be very painful. And there would be a discharge of fluid, but conventional weapons would not prove particularly effective.
That settles it. This thing is a weapon, sure as I...
Would you like to know about my hair? Your hair? I'm impressed you noticed.
But we didn't notice. Emerald.
Each fiber contains miniaturized solar cell lattice technology, allowing me to remain charged throughout the daytime.
Her hair photosynthesizes. That's actually kind of amazing.
That must come in handy. I haven't actually had the chance to use it yet.
Emerald and Kasim shit. Needs to eat, drink, and charge. She has to touch grass. Yes.
This room has ambient wireless charging functionality. I haven't gone outside much.
Okay, maybe it's not a weapon after all.
You're just a pincushion, aren't you? I'm not familiar with the term. Searching. Pincushion, jargon, design. First, the prototypes filled with experimental technologies to check for compatibility issues. Got an idea, not sure what to do with it? Stick it in the pincushion.
It's as good an explanation as any for what I'm staring at. A mishmash of state-of-the-art military features spliced with odd new technologies and seemingly pointless additions. The end result being a singular, unsellable android that wasn't particularly good at anything and would break down after only a few years.
Pincushions are a small but valid part of the field of android manufacturing. They are valuable to collectors who see them as time capsules filled with their designers' most outlandish ideas and least reproducible results.
Even the nonsensical pincushions are built via committee over years, with numerous engineers and programmers adding in their pet functions. The android before me claims to have been built by one man. A man who's now...
Seems we got off track there, Sarah. Was there anything else David wanted you to relay to me? Besides that you were to look after me? He also told me that you were reliable and that I should trust you. He said that I was to listen to you and obey your instructions. Finally, some good news. As you say, Adonai.
I'm sorry, what? You cannot just drop Adonai on us out of the blue like that. Is that Morgan's first name? Adonai Morgan. Okay. I'm pretty sure Adonai is a biblical figure. Like, Hebrew legend type shit. But the exact usage escapes me for the moment.
What's that?
It's the name of God. Right, okay. Thank you. Look. I grew up Baptist, okay?
That word you call me. What was that? Adonai, from classical Hebrew.
Oh, they're just going to explain it. Okay.
Translated literally, it means my lord. Do you prefer that I call you master? No. Very good, Adonai. Why did David use Hebrew, though? Abrahamic myth tells of servants constructed out of earth and clay designed to resemble and obey their masters. Golems. Father must have found the comparison appropriate. Amusing. More likely, it's just a joke. Father would not make light of such a thing. Sure he would. Perhaps we should ask him to clarify his reasonings for himself. Where is Father, by the way? Is he upstairs? When was the last time you were active? 38 hours ago.
Check her forehead for Emmett. I mean, she has a barcode in her hair. Like, I'm actually curious what you would get if you scanned that.
Thursday night, then? Correct.
Right.
David Asher is dead. He died last night, understand? How? May I see him? See him? No. I won't be able to see him. Funeral's probably not for a few days. Father was not... He was not sick.
I don't feel like doing the whole song and dance with 2 robots in one day.
That's very charming, but let's go to commands only. What? What happened? Did he have an accident?
Why is it still doing the theatrics? Does it not recognize my authority yet?
The police have determined that he committed suicide. For the time being, we ought to focus on getting you properly registered. Maybe then you'll take commands the first time I say them and not. The police are wrong. Excuse me? They are wrong. Father did not commit suicide. He would never do such a thing. Father he told me, look, Sarah, I'm sorry? You're sorry? Father said you were his friend. How are you so calm? I've been around death a lot. So don't try to lecture me about grief, Spearmint.
Spearmint! I like that.
My name is Sarah. You will use it because Father David Asher, the greatest programmer in the world, gave it to me. And he did not kill himself. Let's say you're right. David didn't commit suicide. If that's the case, the police will realize that soon enough. The police have already made their determination. That's what you just said. Father said that you were a lawyer, that you were capable and reliable, and a friend. You should be looking into his death. That's... Is that in order? Of course it is not. It is a request, Adonai. A request that I'll have to refuse. The police have their job and I have mine. If I stick my nose into their investigation any further, they'll come down on me hard. Cops don't like lawyers on principle. But what they really hate are people who tell them how to do their job. Let's go. We need to... Father asked you to look after me. Yeah, he did. He also said you should obey me, but you don't seem quite as fixated on that part. And he said something else. He said that you owed him a favor. One favor. Note how her eyes have gone perfectly black. Also, hey! Hello, Archangel and Raiders. How was the Vermintiding?
I think that was what you were playing, right? So, many rats died. Good. Excellent. Yes. Oh, welcome in. I am doing Of the Devil, a Cyberpunk Ace Attorney game, which is currently getting very existential. So, also, if you have not played the prologue chapter, it is free on Steam. I would highly recommend that, but this is episode 1. Also, we're God. We are not God. Our android is just calling us God. For some reason. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
The thin ice starts here, Spearmint. That was between him and me. Father is gone, so now it is between you and I. And I am calling in the favor now. What? You don't have to take care of me anymore. Consider that request null and void. You can sell me to some collector or you can donate me to a university. It doesn't matter. In exchange, you will prove Father didn't kill himself. And you will make sure that whoever hurt him is held accountable. Why are you laughing? It's you and me, not you and I. You and me. David would roll over in his grave if he knew you'd gotten that wrong. It was not my intention to amuse or rotate. No, that's for damn sure. Fine, I'll take that deal, Sarah. You mean, you will prove that Father did not... I mean, I'll look into it. I'm a lawyer. I don't prove anything. I just disprove what I can. Then where do we start? We? I didn't realize you had a law degree. I do not have a law degree, but I am a fast learner. This isn't a job interview. I am far from useless. I can...
Yeah, it did raise at least one good point. Where do I start? Also, yes. Morgan's internal monologue is just detective noir. Because I think that's funny. I'm a defense attorney, not a police detective. And David was my friend, not my client. I won't be able to poke around at all unless...
I am also capable of... Can you tell a lie? I am capable of making statements that are false.
I mean, yes, Morgan is wrong about that, but also, yes.
Guess that'll have to do. You going to ask me to lie?
Yes.
To the police, in fact. Lying to the police is a felony. Androids don't commit felonies, they make errors. I see. What kind of error did you have in mind, Adonai? Are you sure about this? You have questions too, don't you? Right now, I'm just a little better equipped to get answers than you are. Okay, go for it. I'll make sure they're watching. Is the air quality at Noble's headquarters kept up to stable standards? What's that? All these Noble employees seem to have asthma. Was Father also working under such poor conditions? They don't have asthma. Then why are they all carrying inhalers? Yes, ma'am, she's right over here.
Oh, hi, Emma. So this is our Edgeworth.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, it's you.
Did I mess up?
On the contrary. Eyes wide, she's a DA.
Quiet.
She succeeded spectacularly in getting Noble's ears perked up.
Emma Rockford. Didn't think I'd run into you here. Yeah, didn't think I'd be here either. But the powers that be think my presence sends a strong message to the Megs, so... Now wait, what are you doing here?
A few minutes later...
Ah, I see. I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm glad that they just skipped the explanation of why we're actually here.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you, Detective Reyes, for your many kind words.
We can't all be as talkative as you.
Normally, quoting poetry would feel pretentious, but you are so genuine in your reading. Bite me. I don't know that there's a need for all that. Very mature, Detective. Did you come up with that yourself? Oh, no, that's Kaguya's signature pose. Like the pop star?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can admit it if you do.
Well, there's nothing to admit because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is.
Wait, now you're saying you don't know who Kaguya is. She's the most famous...
Yeah, well, I just don't know who that is, so... Ma'am? Weren't you about to say something?
Oh, well, I'm still surprised to see you here now, Morgan. Are you helping plan the services? Actually, the company will be planning Dr. Asher's funeral service. Wouldn't his family want to take care of that? No. No? No. I see. Sorry. But if that's the case, why are you here, Morgan?
I've got a lot of phlegm building up that's making it hard to differentiate these voices. God.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to disrupt your morning. Hey, you're here for the same reason as every other suit they've got crawling around. Money. You're not wrong. There are a lot of annoying insects with that annoying agenda scurrying around before my friend's body is even cold. But the honest truth is I don't even know if David had a will. The company helped him manage his estate. Legal is probably already on it. Actually, judging by how much coffee that intern is carrying into the elevator, I'm certain they are. Right, so if you're not here for the funeral or the reading of the will... Miss Starling asked me to come here, actually, on a matter unrelated to David's passing. An unrelated matter? That's convenient. Isn't it? But now that I am here, it's come to my attention that the police have made a determination in the case of David's death. And where did you hear that? Am I mistaken? No, you're right. They concluded it was suicide.
Can always count on her to be blunt.
I was worried about that. Yeah, I'm sure you must be feeling... Because I'm going to have to contest that charge.
What?
The state has made a charge, and I'm arguing against it.
How are you talking about?
The police believe David committed suicide. Suicide is a felony in this country, Detective. It is technically a crime to commit suicide, yes, but we're not in the habit of bringing dead men to trial. Especially not for their own murder, Morgan. No, not to trial, of course not. But there would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this. Technically, as a formality. Assuming the courts aren't busy that day. I'm afraid that on this occasion, I'm going to have to insist on formality.
Yeah, well, you really don't have much say in the matter, do you?
With David gone, I have the only say, really. I am, after all, his criminal attorney. All that money and he needs his drinking buddy to be his attorney? Bullshit. I'm also skeptical, Morgan. It's a pretty serious conflict of interest to be your friend's defense attorney. You're absolutely right. It is a conflict of interest. And I would have said as much to him if I had the chance. What do you mean? I only found out that he wanted me to be his attorney today. After he died, how the hell did you miss that memo? Embarrassing, isn't it? But to be fair, it was hidden pretty well. Oh, I didn't know you had an Android, Morgan. It's cute. Thanks, but it's actually David's. And it's technically my witness. Witness to what? 38 hours ago, David Asher communicated to me as a matter of record the following explicit legal intent. That in the case of any and all criminal charges brought against him by the state, his attorney would be Evangeline Morgan.
Evangeline. Okay, that's her first name.
Evangeline? No, wait, seriously? Your name's Evangeline? Did your parents name you after a Christmas carol? Should we all be curtsying?
I love how hard Reyes is going in on this.
It's not that funny. No, of course not. Nothing to be embarrassed about, Evangeline.
As old as balls as a name, yes. Super Acadian. I mean, she did, go out of her way to have an old-fashioned, gunpowder revolver in the previous case, so Or do your friends call you Angel? I hear Kaguya's on tour, Detective. Should I get you tickets? Or you can have your dad drive you like all the other 15-year-old... Hey!
Feels like we're getting off topic. Well, what were we just... I was telling you that David Asher wanted her to be his criminal defense attorney. Imagine my surprise. An android's recording of a verbal expression of intent isn't exactly ironclad, Morgan. That's fair. And if we were going to before an upper-level court, I would expect that to be open to all kinds of scrutiny. But we're talking about a preliminary hearing. A formality, as you called it. If he asks for representation, he deserves representation. Doesn't matter whether he's dead or alive. Am I missing something? What difference does it make? Not even an adjutant would be obtuse enough to sentence a dead man. No, there won't be a sentence, but the adjutant will render a verdict. And verdicts have consequences, even for the deceased. Is that what this is about? What's she getting at? If the court agrees that this was a suicide, the verdict will retroactively affect evaluations of the individual's mental health. Like whether he was in his right mind or not? Know anything about estate tax law, detective? No? But I'm sure you'll be happy to educate me. More than happy. An individual found by the court not to be of sound mind can't very well give their consent to the lawyer drawing up their will. If his will is compromised, all of David's considerable assets would suddenly be thrown into legal limbo. In which case, the state would be legally obligated to come in and pick up the pieces. So this is just about money. I'm almost disappointed in you, Morgan. Well, when you take into consideration all the factors, it's actually more complicated than that. For example... Never mind. No, Starling, you should speak your mind. All I mean to say is that while Dr. Asher did have significant holdings in art, real estate, and intellectual property, he also, of course, owned a great deal of stock in numerous corporations, principally Noble. If he was ruled to not be of sound mind, and his shares were to end up acquired by the government, Noble would suffer a serious blow to its commercial image and its standing in the financial community. All of which is to say, there's a great deal at stake here. Not the least of which is the reputation of a man whom I was proud to call my friend. You're not buying this, are you? In case you haven't noticed, the city is working closely with Noble on this. They're not gonna let you bring them any unwanted attention. Starling did her part. They're watching and they've stopped trying to hide it. From here on out, it's a gamble. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. Why are you raising your voice? If nothing changes, by the end of the day, the whole country's going to hear how David Asher committed suicide. By midnight, there will be questions about his competency, concerns about why the brain inside every single Noble ad was built by an apparently unstable man. The shareholders will have nothing to do all Sunday but brood over that sad thought and all its disturbing implications. By the time the markets reopen on Monday, I would expect a great deal of volatility. That's so. I understand Noble's apprehension, of course, Emma. I just feel like right now, the fiscally conservative thing to do would be to not get in my way. So you've got your reasons, and Noble's got a lot to think about. But why should the district attorney's office devote valuable time to playing out this game of yours? Because they're certain they'll win? And that goes without saying. The course should have an opening at 6 p.m. I didn't have anything planned. Then it's a date. Detective, would you get their clearance set up? Yes, ma'am. Updates every hour, yeah? You're out on a limb, Morgan. Better not linger. Here. Clearance for all relevant sites and police firewalls. You can interview and investigate with your authority as an officer of the court now.
if you haven't already been doing that. Oh yeah, no. Morgan and Emma have the most toxic of Yuri going on. Don't even think about being sloppy with Discovery on this. Rockford might think you're funny, but I
appreciate the warning, Detective Reyes. It's nice to know you care.
I live to serve.
And protect. You. Thanks for the assist, darling. Yeah. No sweat. Are all cops like that? Or are they more like that Detective London gentleman?
Yeah, they're mostly like that, yes.
Are all that intense?
Yes, it comes from being short. Wow. Morgan just digging a hole for Reyes. Jesus Christ.
And most cops are short?
Yes.
Right. Well, I'll see you at the courthouse tonight. If you need anything in the meantime, don't be afraid to ask.
I took offense to that. Doesn't seem to have to dig very deep. Jesus.
Good luck, both of you. What do we do now?
Well, I have a few options.
I have access to the crime scene now, probably the best place to start. I'd like to head over to the company building as well to get me registered, among other things.
Either David killed himself or he didn't. But if he didn't, it's almost certainly his asshole corporate overlords who are to blame. In which case, I'll want to take my sweet time raking them over the coals.
What are you doing? Nothing. What about Father? When can we see him? He'll be at the morgue by now. The medical examiner will speak to me now that I'm operating under the court's authority. What if I stop to flash paperwork at every nurse and security guard with nothing better to do than ask questions?
I'll have to...
What's that look for? You were Father's friend. Thank you again for reminding me. Aren't there people you'd like to speak with? Other friends who'd want to know?
Bad news travels fast.
I'm sure everyone in the country has heard about David by this point.
But all that heartbreak shit did keep me pretty occupied these last few weeks. I was never one to pry. If there was someone who could tell me more about David's personal life over the last several months, it'd be worth the effort of finding them.
You have someone in mind? Maybe someone he met recently? He spoke about becoming close with someone this year, a musician. Now that you mention it, there was a PO something that David might have mentioned when we talked back in... I will begin a search. I have completed my search. I found nothing.
She's so proud of finding nothing. Amazing.
Thanks for the old college try. That really the best you can do? Father was a private man, in person and online. With just a few letters, the fact that he was a musician, I'm afraid we don't have enough information to narrow down the results, Adonai. No, we have plenty of information. We just need the right person for the job. What kind of person is that?
Time date expunged. Okay, then. Precinct 112. Detainment room 001.
And who would you even have called?
Oh, this is a flashback. Okay. This is... Oh, right. This is the fucking high school kid that was in episode 0. Giving Morgan shit. I don't know. I still should have gotten my phone call. Instead, I got you. Who are you again? My latest guardian, new foster parent? Want me to call you mommy?
not really the motherly type. Yeah, we might actually get along. So I've got good news and bad news. I'm not your guardian, I'm your lawyer. You've been given a lawyer because you're being charged with a felony. Fascist pigs. Giving schools a felony now? Hacking into a government database has been a felony for a very long time. That wasn't me. Have your keystrokes, your IP address, your login times, and the playlist you were listening to. That was for a homework assignment. Here's what I don't get. Got in, copied the data, could have gotten right out. They wouldn't even know that they'd been robbed until they saw their password show up on the black market clearance 2 weeks later. But you didn't get out. You stayed and made changes to their database. You robbed the bank, got clean money, then dragged a can of spray paint behind you all the way home. Why? Look, I didn't steal anything. I wasn't already compromised. The only data I edited was my own. So if anything, they should be thanking me for correcting their mistakes. What, did they get your birthday wrong? My name. Name changes are only 2 pages of paperwork. You just need to fill out the form and get a signature from a parent or guardian. So, what's the good news then? The good news was that I'm your lawyer, not your guardian. The hell? It doesn't count as good news, that's just a thing you said. Be so sure. A lawyer's a lot better than a guardian. How's that? Parents, guardians, foster whatevers, they're all supposed to take care of you because it's the right thing to do. A lawyer is someone who always does what's best for you no matter what, because that's how they get paid. So how good are you at your job? Well, I mean, we kept her out of prison, so, you know, pretty good, I would assume. Hello, Moncur. It's pronounced cure. I know how it's pronounced. And don't call me that. When I met Fran at the police station, I couldn't help but bet I'd landed the jackpot. A valuable asset with a skill set complementary to my own personal and private pursuits. Someone who, after seeing the sweetheart probation deal I managed to land for them, would be more than happy to help me with whatever I need, whenever I need it. Always so cold, Fran. Can't even get a good morning? No such thing. Nothing good's ever happened until the afternoon when people are actually awake. What I got instead was a compulsive liar with a horrific sleep schedule and a crippling addiction to poor time management. What do you want, Red? I can't call you up just for fun. Not if you don't want to get blocked. I need you to find somebody for me. Can't do it. I've got homework. You both know that the only time you do your own homework is during class, or is during the class it's due. Mood though? And I've got sports. You can't tell a basketball from a hockey stick. I've got a bidding war to win. You're the only person on Earth bidding on 70-year-old Coochie and Air Joe Dan vintage reps, Fran. I think you can take your eyes off the auction block. Yeah, so sorry, but I'm busy, so... I was hoping we could skip straight to the carrot portion of the routine, but if you insist on doing these things from the top... I had an interesting conversation with your parole officer yesterday. Oh, yeah? They've been really into the self-prefixes lately. What? Self-motivation, self-actualization, self-help. Oh. And he thinks you could really benefit from it. You're lying. He's got all the workbooks ready. That face, though. That is the most relatable face, I swear to Christ. Clearly, your Saturdays are stacked, so I'll make sure your Sundays are full of Fine, I get it. I need you to find a local musician. Musician? Knowing you, this will be electric swing or some other awful. Last name, Powell or Parker. That's all you got? They'll be in David Asher's circle. Wait, Asher, you're working that? That should be more than enough for a clever kid like you to go on. Don't go expecting any miracles. I need this soon, within the hour, ideally. Within the... You know, I have other clients, don't you? Other clients who actually pay you on time. A musician. Find him. Okay. Even talking over the phone, you're very animated, Adonai. What do you mean? Just that you're very expressive when you talk to people. Of course I'm expressive. If I wasn't, how would anyone know what I'm thinking? I see. I'll keep that in mind as we... Wait, you really expect to tag along? Of course. Father was... Yeah, I know you want to. But why should I let you? Because I am capable and helpful. Uh-huh. I mean it. I can take notes for you. And move heavy objects. And I'll learn to do more. How? I will subject every individual we encounter to a basic survey, procure biological information on them while I gain experience in questioning. Subjecting them to torture? I can help, Adonai. How fast can you fill out forms? Fast. Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. You coming?
Also, I just noticed Sarah's profile updated. Occupation unemployed paralegal? Question mark? Likes martial arts, carbonation, collarbones. Dislikes static, blackouts, and elevators. Talents, I'm good at a lot of things. Skills, I'm not sure how skills differ from talents. I also like the 180-degree rule. What? God, the way her eyes glow when the phone is out. Like, Jesus Christ. Also, I... Search terms. Okay.
You coming? Right away, Adonai.
Only 200 kilograms? Yup. The eyes glowing is, yeah, a lot.
Very quiet on elevators, huh?
You could have taken the next one.
It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our account. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start? Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves. I have been to crime scenes before, you know.
Long before the police get there in many cases.
Look, Rockford asked me not to get in your way, but that doesn't mean I'm going to bend over for you. You at least have the autopsy report?
No.
Seriously, I don't.
She doesn't. The report should have come in hours ago. It wouldn't take this long unless the cause of death was still.
Then I'd settle for a summary of the preliminary findings. An emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system. Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within the minute. They landed on the penthouse's helipad at 8:08.
My voice, Jesus Christ. That line goes hard. Yeah. A lot of the lines go real hard.
Dr. Asher was found unconscious with low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing.
In-flight auto triage administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken to the emergency wing.
I see. And the cause of death is being investigated. Make an educated guess.
He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they had the machines take over. His brain activity had dropped to 0. There wasn't anything else they could do.
It was poison, wasn't it?
What kind? You don't know, do you?
They don't know either.
Like I said, ma'am, we don't have the autopsy report yet.
Why are you certain it was poison, Adonai? Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose?
If he had overdosed on a commercial drug, even a pre-med student would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralize his bloodstream, and he would have lived.
But he didn't live.
So it must have been something deadly, a compound designed solely to kill. Fast-acting, deadly poison that causes respiratory failure. The list can't be that long. Even just through process of elimination, the medical examiner should have identified it by now, unless you suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective? Why is it you're only quick on the uptake when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given what we know and what we don't.
But the CDCA decriminalized and cataloged all recreational drugs.
Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics.
So whatever Father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database.
You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs with recreational drugs. So, just to be clear, I believe designer drug in this case means something designed specifically for this purpose, right? In the literal sense, designer merely denotes any drug that is custom made as opposed to mass produced. Yeah, okay. Typically outside of normal pharmaceutical industry standards. Also, God, again, her eyes and barcode. Oh, I love that effect, and it's also very, very off-putting.
What is the difference?
Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmacies after years of testing and mountains of paperwork. So cooking meth in a basement as opposed to Walter White, effectively, yeah. While average designer drugs was invented last week in a 19-year-old line cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. I came across makeshift labs all the time when I was in a uniform. The equipment's cheap and widely available. Black market cooks, gray market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists all chasing each other's tails in a long line to find the next big hit. CDCA didn't change shit. More people die from ODs than ever before. Only difference is, it's their families finding them in the living room and not beat cops finding them on street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure.
If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that was a criticism of law enforcement.
Not law enforcement, just a law.
Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated.
For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, whatever he used to do it, he still killed himself. Or didn't kill himself, if you insist.
I'm going to take a look around now.
Yeah, sure. Make yourself at home.
What's that face for?
I'm guessing that's a typo. I'm guessing she meant she thought. Fucking dystopia live and making people want to take anything to forget, right?
I thought there would be an outline. An outline? Around where they found Father. Like in the movies? Like in film. Connect to the police's network and bring up their ARCS file. Augmented reality crime scene. I see. There is an outline. So this is where he died at the hospital. This is just where the medics found him. And it's the sensors cameras they were wearing that create the basics for this ARCS. They didn't realize they were walking into a crime scene, but their body cams gathered the data all the same. Where do we start? You can start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible.
I'm starting to get a feel for when she's pouting, even without looking.
Says here that when the medics arrived, he was on the floor face up. Does that tell you something?
Okay, that is adorable that she's just mimicking Morgan now.
Hey, if you were going to drink a glass of poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it? I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario. The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost consciousness, I would expect to find him slumped over the table. But he wasn't found slumped over. No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I think he would have fallen forward, or at least collapsed less neatly. So what can you conclude from that, Adonai? Only that I'm missing something.
Yeah, just like... falling backwards like that almost looks like he was hit with something with his hands up. Like he was trying to defend himself. And whatever got him, like he just kind of froze. And then just fell backwards. A chessboard and a data pad with a series of characters on it.
E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CXD4, NXD4. This...
I don't think it's a game. Because there would be no CF4 or X's in there. I don't know if it's a message. Or... Oh, it's not actually in my phone yet. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing I'm hung up on too. X is a capture. You know what? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Okay, let's see. I can't find anything that explicitly talks about the actual notation and whatnot, but At first glance on The Simpsons, I had to pick a poison for Fuku. The hospital database would have tetrodotoxin, yeah. Alright, we'll see what the game does. Algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game or playing against himself? Black has checkmate in 40 moves. Wow, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. But I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? Do you not play Adonai? No, especially not against David. Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing. Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it always seemed too boring, too fair. The smarter player wins every time. And that is something you take fault with. It's actually why I gravitate towards card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! There's an element of deck building in that to give yourself the advantage and everything, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the hands you're dealt and how you use your resources. Of course, how's a gal like me supposed to win a game like that? Not the trolling potential. I mean, that's also a part of it. However, better take a closer look. Okay. 2 cups, 1 bottle. Okay. Spilled alcohol. The arc showed how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substances in the puddle. It's clean. So does that mean wherever this spill came from must be clean as well? Okay, so he didn't drink the poison. 2 cups, 1 empty, knocked over, and 1 mostly empty. Also, are those fucking solo cups? Really, David? You couldn't even get out a normal fucking glass? These look cheap. Did his guest bring them? I've seen them before in the basement liquor cabinet. He kept these lying around. I knew he regifted those crystal glasses I got him. Yep. Big old married couple energy here. Ark says there's nothing foreign in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on the other cup, however. Looks bone dry. Must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just not enough there for them to test. Inconclusive could mean... Inconclusive means inconclusive, that's all. Cheer up and read me the results from the fingerprinting. Father's prints are on both cups as expected. But there are someone else's on the upright cup. So someone else must have been with him last night. Slow down. All that proves is that someone else touched the cup. Doesn't tell us when they did it. And since we don't know who the prints belong to... Adonai, why don't we know who the prints belong to? Are the prints flagged as unidentified, or... No, there's space for a name, but the field is blank. Shit, am I already late to the action? Or that late to the action? Detective Reyes. Yeah. There's a second set of prints on the cups. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nicely you ask. Sometimes people can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid he'd say that. I don't understand, Adonai. What does this mean? It means that whomever these prints belongs to has very proactive representation.
These prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name. That easily? Subpoenas are always an option, but I'm short on time. What did the witness have to say for themselves, Detective? To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Asher last night, the two of them talked, they had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. EMTs came and took them both to the hospital. Asher's condition got worse, all of the witness's vitals were normal. The witness had their vitals taken, and there should be a record of their admission at Gatesfield. And that's it. I'm guessing you didn't just take all of that on faith? The number is set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, he can guarantee that the witness never put anything into Asher's drink. I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it.
Lawyers? Plural. I don't have time to trade jabs with the law offices of Johnson & Johnson.
Hey, how about I give you their business card?
The law offices of Kokler, Gustav, Prince, and Prince. I was close. No way I'll be getting any client information out of them directly.
If all you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch.
Yeah, I bet you like to watch.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't know. Needed a moment to think.
So, that was it? One chat, one peek at the cams, and you've already eliminated them as a suspect? Look, they were searched, they didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as a dead man. As far as the department's concerned, they were nearly the second victim.
But they aren't dead, or even ill from the sound of things.
So, you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured the both of them from a safe bottle?
Yeah, don't know why that one tripped me up.
That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. But after drinking from the cup, a cup he prepared himself, he fell ill, and the witness didn't. And Asher died with a foreign substance in his body. An unidentified foreign substance. Suicide by poison. I get that you were close and simple explanations aren't all that satisfying. But that's life. One last thing.
Just considering that Morgan smokes, I'm half expecting her to start gesticulating like fucking Columbo when she does that with a cigarette.
One last thing. You just said that he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the parlor to get drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement. The witness says that, not the cameras. There's no cam in the lab or the basement. That seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble not set things up more carefully? It's intentional. If cams of his lab ever got hacked, outsiders could steal his IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb.
Right. David did complain about Noble's weird protocols for combating corporate espionage.
At least we can take comfort in knowing the father wasn't alone when he died. Yeah, that's
worth investigating.
Password locked, but already cracked by the police, it seems. All the docs were take-home safe, nothing spicy. When was it last used? 7:48 p.m.
Still reading work emails only a few minutes before he committed suicide? Morbid. There's a lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. This article, I see. A stunning and heroic episode, one of our nation's brave soldiers had their life saved by a noble android, and in a way no other competitor's product could. A brave private, name withheld, was wounded during a military operation whose exact nature and location is currently classified. Bleeding badly and far from the nearest triage station, he was carried to safety by his fellow freedom fighter, an Animate 16 enforcer, one of the few warm androids being currently tested out by armed forces. But the android didn't just sit there and wait for evac. It opened up its own arteries and pumped life-saving UD, universal donor, synthetic plasma into the young man's veins, stabilizing him long enough for him to reach a military hospital. I have no doubt he'd be dead if there was any other android fighting alongside him, said one commanding officer who asked not to be named. I always thought Noble was only good at making ads that look good. Now I know they've got something inside them that no one else can compete with. The story brings a well-deserved shot in the arm to Noble's stock prices and market share. With this one heroic moment, Noble's warm androids have proven themselves to be worth their price tag, and then some, and people in the capital are paying attention. It's certainly an interesting idea, Senator Mathings said when asked about committing to a military contract for Noble to provide the armed forces with warm models. This story's got people talking. If we just ignored our constituents' feelings on this matter, we'd be neglecting our duty as politicians, and I know none of my peers would ever try to put a price on the life of one of our soldiers. Looks directly into the camera. Oh, it's absolutely feels like an ad, and that's intentional. Everything's an ad in this universe. It's hypercapitalism. While additional details of the incident have remained closely guarded on Earth, the net is already ablaze with talks of, "Oh damn, you're not logged into this device. Why don't you pop your user details down below and enable crumbs so you can get the user experience you deserve." This is that article I've seen going around. But why would Noble have it marked as priority? Starling said they weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. I mean, the military contract would be the thing, you know. Also noticed that no one asked the android about its feelings on this, or if the android even survived the process. They now have an excuse they need to pressure the military into a contract for warm androids. They can't dismiss the expensive upgrade as unnecessary now that it's saved a soldier's life. This time next year, there'll be pink oxidizing fluid being spilt all over the globe.
Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old. You recognize it?
Sure, he was more than partial to the brand. A good brand, only a bit overpriced, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world.
It appears the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matter present was their conclusion. Is it possible that the police missed the poison? No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to a bottle off the store shelf. So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle of whiskey was poisoned. We'll have to find our smoking gun elsewhere.
Hey, what was that? Oh, up there, okay. Police androids monitoring the scene. You can almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important.
Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't, in person. David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal. Just scan his skin if you're that curious. Unless it's considered too forward or whatever.
I always admired this view. Buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the run-down, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible.
Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows?
Not through these windows, no.
David's installed wide-spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars. I didn't know that.
Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were viewing the penthouse for more than...
Why did he care so much about his windows?
Good question, actually. One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting. And one chair pulled out, a party of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room. Which leaves the kitchen.
You said there's camera footage from the dining room showing David and his guest. What about in here?
Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal. Counsel took a snap image of the witness when the witness ran in to contact emergency services.
May I see it?
Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pic first. Don't tempt me. Messy workplaces, but a pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals. Or 2. Or 1. No signs of food prep to be found. Not so much as a cheese board. So whoever this guest was, they must have shown up unannounced. Three unwashed dishes and a single glass.
Reyes, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet.
And
I just assumed you might want to do your job.
Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim. There's also...
Hey! Don't sneak up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you. And you knocked over the salt, Adonai. I was focused on the task at hand. Didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod. Adonai, the salt. As I was saying, the witness's prints are also on that glass. That glass in the sink? They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did he see a glass on camera? No.
So when did they touch this glass?
Need to toss it over your shoulder. Witnesses must have thought about giving the guys some water, but would have choked on it if they had tried.
Well, you think the glass is the murder weapon?
It's bad luck, Adonai.
Whacked him on the back so fast it went between video frames?
That's genius! You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. But sure, it's bad luck. What have you been going on about? The salt? Shouldn't a machine be above petty superstition? It's not superstition, it's ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care, then. If too much salt spills on your food, it'll make you gag. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there.
David's fridge. Right, fuck. David's fridge. Normally I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene, but if this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer, some real cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. Old habits.
Reyes, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement? That's what the cams show, yeah.
That's plenty to drink, or there's plenty to drink right here. And unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. You must have wanted Rose River in particular.
What's that look for? You hungry? I'm an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic? Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. So, when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, I become tired. What a great feature. And when I'm done digesting, I don't need to know.
This is where the emergency call was made.
What time did the call go out? 8:04 p.m. Before you ask me, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m., remember?
Hell of a response time for a penthouse.
Private EMS came by air? Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took them to Gatesfield. The very best if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like he could afford a lot. Got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Caduceus's executive plan... that's Reyes, never mind. Yeah. Caduceus' executive plan 4 isn't like most people, counselor. Yeah, at executive level?
Not like most people at all.
So now you've had the chance to survey the crime scene. Yeah. So do you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield. Along with a half-hundred noble Megs who've all called dibs. Then I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, give me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What, you can do that, can't you? I can. But I need your payment information to get started.
Yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down.
Got it. Sync complete. Set pickup for 10 minutes. That should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gotten quite large. 10 minutes to reach pickup spot may be an ambitious target, Adonai. How bad can it be?
As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail. The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's not panicked yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Are this many people pissed at Noble for selling androids? Hell's got them all so excited.
Adonai, what does that symbol mean? In this rabble? Probably something vulgar. Which one? That heart with a bullet hole. I don't know. It's probably nothing.
I see Morgan's fans have found her.
Based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the Heartbreak Killer. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak have a symbol or a following? Or these, whatever these people are. And why the hell would they be outside David Asher's apartment?
Because Noble's trying to cover up the truth.
They are?
Those Megs in there are scrambling to shred every document they can. We need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try to catch them when they go to dump the scraps.
Sarah, what are you hoping to find?
Proof that Asher was killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want to know the world, or doesn't want the world to know that the A-16 is sentient and homicidal.
You think that Heartbreak is an android?
You think whoever did all that was human? Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing.
Started killing random people?
Don't be a lamb, it only looks random. There's a clear pattern as long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit.
I love that Morgan is getting increasingly frustrated, like she wants to correct them so bad. Oh, okay. And how does one see past the bullshit? Stop engaging.
Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. The hell are you talking about? No way those victims weren't related. It's gotta be deniable ops. Okay, what does that mean? Deniable is a fictional classification for clandestine state actions that need not be taken responsibility for because plausible deniability. Okay, Black Ops, got it. It must have been in DO together before getting their records bleached. Then as soon as they've outlived their usefulness?
Are you nuts?
Everyone knows the first HK got to were the 6 prototypes that came before him. Or an android so perfect no one could tell the diff. A bullet to the heart's the only way that he could kill those other over-engineered freaks. Jesus Christ. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion.
See? Stop seeing, start moving. These people are insane.
Why don't you eat some more corn slop, asshole? You think you can be the cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? Okay, yeah, no. I was about to say if that whole phrase was in there. You think it's a coincidence victim number 6 was working on hardcore crops? You're putting something in the food!
People, Heartbreak. This is goddamn embarrassment. The hell am I paying taxes for if the state can't shut this shit down? What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this heartbreak figure? They're just a murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer. But they must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious? Why? Are some reasons for committing murder better than others? They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have. Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. And yet, there's only one heartbreak. So you think they were just born that way? That's my guess. That's unsatisfying. Sad. I don't see why it would be. If Heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else. If Heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people would ever have to worry about turning out like them. That's kind of predestination. It means they never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility. As soon as they catch them. You make it sound so trivial. They're a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just? If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. In order to have killed 413,789 people. You did that in your head? I'm good at mental math. So you counted the leap years. But what is the significance of that number? That's within 18 months of the Blakeford industrial disaster.
Okay, that's one I need to look at. Just ahead, we're currently limiting traffic related to this particular search due to a large number of edits coming in from net addresses outside your country's borders. We're proud to fight alongside variable user country in combating disinformation by foreign actors like those in variable user adversary latest. Jesus Christ. You can read more about how and why this collaboration works here. Tired of running into slowdowns? So are we, but maintaining secure data border takes resources. Contact your representative and explain why you think the national data security budget needs to be expanded using our easy right form here. Thanks, game. I get what they're doing, but still. Times that number by two for the injuries, tack on another 183% for the birth defects. 413,000 dead, and there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding in time. So you think heartbreak is nothing by comparison? Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to. She's got you there, Morgan. Please make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse. Keep walking, pigs. Fascists. Noble owns the cops. Only the cops they build in their factories. Very funny. Why are we tolerating this shit? You want me to wade into the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong? You know what I mean. We're the only people in this city trying to do some goddamn good, and they all just... That's part of our job, detective. No offense, man, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more hate than that. Then, do they give prosecutors badges? I mean... In Ace Attorney, they do. I have an ID for the parking garage. Does that count? Vince, you ever hesitate to wear it in the open? This moral relativism of yours seems like a strange philosophy for someone in your profession, Adonai. Breaking out the thesaurus on me? I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, Sarah. Whatever I do, right or wrong, it's less than 1% rounding error in the grand scheme of things. You tell that to your clients? No, but they'd come to appreciate it when I win. I don't mean the cops in particular. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. The terms are stark, but the ink dried a long time ago, and we all agreed to them. That's a villain look Morgan's given right there. Yeah. Very intentional as well. I don't recall voting for it. Well, not voting is how these things come to pass, so... We traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. The state won, the citizens lost. The very least we can do is take their criticisms head on. Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority. Only with the authority being challenged. But they treat us like we're the bad guys. No, sometimes we are. Sometimes the law is wrong. So if any given individual is too smart to ever affect change, so if the public's gonna hate us no matter what we do, and if corporations and governments will trample over people the same, regardless of their character, and if we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing, what do you do, Adonai? The hell do we do? I think it's pretty simple. It's not as complicated as you'd think. In times like these, in a world like this, the only logical way to live the only moral way to act is do whatever it takes to win. I fucking love that conversation. Showing the convergence points between the two sides of it is really fucking good. And that's why they're fucking. Exactly. If I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of things, I can do my worst and no one will notice. If power is inherently evil, holding back won't save your soul. Just fight with both barrels, and trust the opposition to do the same. Winner takes all. So, I feel like that is, like, the most perfect stopping point, right? Like, that is just, like, the perfect place to end things, like, so I'm not going to push any further. But yeah, god damn, this is getting spicy already. We haven't even made it to court yet. And I have it on good authority that, there is court. Yeah, let's see. Looks like John, Rosa, and G are playing some Valhalla, so I'm gonna send y'all over their way. They have raid prevention on. Okay, never mind. In that case... Okay, what? Okay, Nissa is doing some peek, it looks like, so we'll raid them. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow with more 100 line. We might be finishing up the 100 days there. And then Friday, we'll be back over on Rose's channel for Ace Attorney, which is starting at the normal time I start, actually. We're actually starting earlier. And then Saturday should be over at May's for more FF6, depending on how kind May's job is to them, I think. So anyway, thank you all for coming and hanging out. Until next time, y'all have an excellent evening, take care, and I will catch you all later.